happened to you? I thought you were a good guy.
I am good at what I do. But I am not a guy.
Lost in translation, I guess?
Sable and Spider-Man are back at it again. Anyways, welcome back, true believers and all you spectacular Spidey fans, to another very exciting Spider-Man PS4 related video. And in case you didn't know, yesterday on May 29th, we did finally receive the third issue of the comic book tie-in series to Spider-Man PS4 of City at War. And unlike the last two issues, where we did see really interesting scenes relating to Otto Octavius, Miles Morales, and even including a really awesome Spider-Man villain like that of Swarm, this particular issue mainly focuses on the one and only Mary Jane Watson. And if you're someone who doesn't own the comic yourself, here are some of the beginning panels of the third issue to get you invested more within MJ's role within Spider-Man PS4's narrative. Overall, I personally really enjoyed Mary Jane's portrayal within Spider-Man PS4, and getting even more of her character fleshed out within this comic series is really great to say the least. Specifically, I do like that we receive a lot more of MJ's thought process during the main scenes in which she is investigating the scenes relating to Martin Lee and the Inner Demons, and also her main chemistry with Peter Parker himself. And it just goes to show that the main writers and creators of this specific comic series of Dennis Hopeless Hallam, Michelle Bandini, and Mark Basso really are passionate about Spider-Man PS4, just like Insomniac and Marvel are themselves. But out of everything that issue 3 does relating to the Spider-Man PS4 narrative, we do actually see some very intriguing twists that actually never occurred within the base game of Spider-Man PS4. Primarily in this panel here, it showcases where Spider-Man is breaking and entering within Oscorp Tower to learn more about what Norman Osborn is keeping within his secret files. And of course, as we all know, during that section of the game, he was including a lot of really interesting information relating to GR27, also known as Devil's Breath. And in order to most likely condense the story more to fit in a shorter comic series, they did include this scene where Silver Sable does interact with Spider-Man, but also has her interact with Norman Osborn at the same time. And even though I did like the initial scene of Silver Sable's introduction within the game where she is working alongside Yuri Watanabe, this would have been really cool to see be played out in the game as well. And as for one of the biggest changes that doesn't really make a whole lot of sense, is that while Mary Jane is trying to sneak around the Sable camp within Central Park, she does actually go and talk to Charles Standish, who is explaining a lot about Devil's Breath to Mary Jane, and then is confronted by the one and only Martin Lee himself, aka Mr. Negative. So rather than seeing Spider-Man swing in to save the day and protect Mary Jane from harm, she actually is kidnapped by Martin Lee and is immediately taken to the Grand Central Station section of the game's story. And even though we essentially know what happens during that part of the game's narrative, I am very curious to see what types of twists and turns the writers are going to take to put in this comic series. And after reading up to 3 issues of City at War so far, I can safely say that this third issue is actually my personal favorite, bar none. I really do love how much more focus points all the characters are getting within this storyline, specifically relating to Miles Morales and Otto Octavius, but now focusing a lot more on Mary Jane herself. Plus, there was a lot of exposition from Charles Standish describing the Devil's Breath serum to Mary Jane Watson in this comic, and as we all know, the end result of the Devil's Breath formula was supposedly going to be a cure for Harry Osborn's disease. And seeing how we do have 3 more issues to go until this series is complete, I really do hope by the end of the 6th issue we could receive another glimpse at Harry becoming Venom, and possibly a tease to the sequel of Spider-Man PS4. Because I know for a fact that if they were somehow able to implement a small teaser relating to the sequel of Spider-Man PS4 in this comic series in the 6th issue, a lot more people will go out and buy this comic for themselves. Luckily, it appears that we won't have to wait too long for the 4th issue to release, because Bill Roseman did put out on Twitter earlier today, Spider-Man City at War number 4 has swung off to the printer and it could be the best issue yet. All of the comics creators deliver that classic mix of action, drama, triumph, and tragedy that you crave in your Spidey stories. Hashtag Spider-Man PS4. And alongside of all these awesome comic covers being showcased for issue 4, I am very curious to see what is going to occur within the next issue, and specifically which character they are going to focus on as well. Because so far, the first issue focused around Peter, the second issue focused around Miles, and the third issue focused around Mary Jane. And given where the story is headed, I do have a small feeling that it could either A, go back to Peter, B, focus on Martin Lee, or possibly C, focus more on Otto Octavius slowly becoming Dr. Octopus. And even though we don't have an official release date for when the 4th issue is going to come out yet, I am definitely going to pick it up day one. But with all that said, everyone, that's the video I have for you today, and please let me know all your thoughts in the comment section down below. What are your current thoughts on the City at War comic book tie-in series for Spider-Man PS4, and what would you like to see the creators do for the next issue of the series? For me personally, I'm loving every new installment that we do receive of City at War, and knowing that after this series is complete, we will receive another series of Marvel's Spider-Man Velocity in August, I'm very excited to have this universe expand furthermore. And knowing that the Velocity comic is going to be an epilogue of Spider-Man City at War, I am curious to see what other types of narratives they are going to do within this game's overall universe. But until the next issue releases, everyone, thank you all very much for watching, stay spectacular, Spidey fans, and peace out.
I solemnly swear to do whatever you tell me to.
I will call soon.
Ow. But yeah.